Eric here. So this will be a short tutorial on how to create an ad campaign directly with AMS for your KDP print books. So there are actually a bunch of advantages to using KDP print, but the one that I feel is kind of like a game changer is promotion and advertisement. And that's promotion and advertisement by creating ad campaigns directly with AMS. So for years, it's been extremely difficult, if not impossible, to create AMS ads for authors or publishers who use Createspace to print their books. Now, yes, there have been workarounds to make this work. For example, using Amazon Advantage or actually other Amazon vendor accounts. But there's really not a step-by-step on how to make that happen. And there's actually no guarantees that these hacks work. Um, I've had authors and publishers come to me multiple times over the years, letting me know that even though they opened up Amazon Advantage account or other accounts, they still were not able to do AMS ads for their Createspace print books. So now that's changed. That's changed as a result of KDP Print, because anything that's published through the KDP platform is actually able to use AMS ads. So now authors and or publishers who decide to use KDP Print will now be able to set up AMS ads for their print books. So what will you learn today? Well, there's two things. One is how to integrate AMS with KDP Print, and it's actually pretty basic, so it won't take long to show you that. And then two, we're going to go over a short summary on how to create your first ad campaign for your print book on KDP Print. So the first thing I'll do is I'll open up my KDP account. And as you can see here, I have a list of books here, like so. And what I'd like to first start off with basically is any books that you transfer over from Createspace into KDP Print, those books are eligible for AMS. If you start a book independently on KDP Print platform, which is basically a combination of KDP, Kindle, and print. So if you start your own book independently rather than transfer, that book will also be eligible. So as you can see here, this book here, obviously it's another name, that's a pen name. So this book I started independently from within this platform. And as you can see here, this button appears, which is promote and advertise. And also if you browse or if you put your cursor over here, you can find the same here, promote and advertise. So if you print with KDP Print, you basically are able to use AMS, and that's basically by using this button. I'll go and review that here in a second. The other books, which are these two books, which I transferred over from Createspace, same applies. So if you transfer over, you have the opportunity of using AMS through your KDP account. So as you can see, this button here is enabled and this button here is enabled. But so what I'll do is I'll go back to here. So how to integrate AMS with KDP Print? Well, I kind of basically showed you how to implement is basically by starting your book in the KDP account. That's how it's implemented. Basically, it just enables itself right here. The other way to implement AMS is by transferring your books over from Createspace. So again, they basically, these buttons are enabled automatically. Once the transfer is successful, these will appear. And when your book successfully is published, when it's done independently, this button again will appear. So the second thing that we're going to cover is, well, how do we actually create an ad campaign through AMS? So let's go back. So let's go with this book here. So just go ahead and click the button, Promote and Advertise. And it basically takes you into, excuse me, the pre-page before you get into AMS. So the book there shows the book that you clicked on. And then basically you just go ahead and you click on Create an Ad Campaign. And it's asking me to log back in. Alrighty. So now we are logged directly into AMS. So now if you don't have an account with AMS, then it's a simple process of setting up, probably 1 or 2 or 3 steps, and you'll automatically have the same options here. So as you can see here, these 2 options, there's only 2 options. This is normal for a KDP account. These are the only 2 options you have for running ads. One is specifically for ebooks, which is for your Kindle book. So these ads you can only do for Kindle. And then for the sponsored products, this is what you can do for your print books. Now, if you had a Amazon Advantage account, you'd have 2 more options. So you have more options to actually do ads. But anyways, this is what we have for the KDP setup. So go ahead and click on that. And it basically pulls in the book that you had listed. So we'll just wait a moment here. And it will pop in there. So there you go, pops into there. And so basically I'm just showing you how to set up your first ad. So let me, just to simplify things here, just take this out. And this naming structure here is going to be the name of your campaign. So I'm just going to do this, write that in there, and just say test 1, and then put in your ad budget. So I'm just going to put in $2. I think the minimum is $1. You don't have to go crazy here if you want to start off slow and test your book. And then as far as the duration is concerned, I wouldn't recommend continuously starting today, because you may forget that your ad is on. So I would recommend that you pick a date range so that you know for sure it's going to start at a certain time and end at a certain time. So let's just pick the 24th and then end it on the 25th. And the next step is automatic targeting, and then you have manual targeting. So in this case, I'm not really for automatic targeting, because sometimes the Amazon's algorithms are kind of funky. So what I would suggest is go with manual targeting so that you can manually add your keywords. Now in some cases it actually will populate a bunch of keywords here, but in this case for some reason it didn't, so no problem. So you can go here and add your keywords. Now this is something that you can do some research before you get started. Figure out some keywords that you can use. So I'm just going to stick in here a couple that I think are some keywords. Now obviously this is a test, and much of this is something that I wouldn't actually do if I was doing this for real. But this, I'm just providing an example. Let's see, marketing. Let's go with that. Let's go with, what else? How about joint ventures? How about, oh, we'll just stay with that. Okay, so now for your CPC, these are your cost per click. So this is the maximum amount that you're willing to pay for each time it clicks your ad. So now here you can see how it adds the keywords in here, and then basically your CPC bid here. Okay, now if you don't want this, you're like, oh, you decide to choose something different, you can go ahead and remove it, and then you go back up to here and you can enter another keyword. Now down here is some custom text. So this text is the copy that you want to use to get the potential customer to click. Well, that's interesting. How to find ideas that will create Okay, so obviously I'm just throwing that in there. So then you have an example of what that search, that keyword, after you put in the keyword, this is what the sponsored ad would look like when it's successfully clicked on. So this right here is what you just wrote. All right, so it says, where will my ad appear? So you can click on this and it'll tell you how it will show up. So usually these sponsored ads are usually at the beginning of a search. So when you do a search with your keyword, it'll be like the first entry at the top of the search page. And you'll also notice that as you scroll down, you may have 2 or 3 of these same sponsored ads within the other results, within the organic results. And then usually you'll see 1 or 2 sponsored ads at the bottom of the page after you see a bunch of the organic results. So that's how and where the sponsored ad would show up. All right, that's basically it. Oh, and then basically you just would click Submit Campaign for Review. So I'm not going to click it since I don't want that reviewed. So that's pretty much it on how you create an ad campaign. And usually it takes up to 12 hours, I would say, for your book to be reviewed, and you'll have an email from Amazon telling you it's either been accepted or not. And if it's not accepted, you can go back in and edit it. All right. So I hope you liked this short tutorial, and if you are not in the Facebook group already, and if this tutorial ends up being on my blog or on YouTube or something, I do have a group that's called Mastering Amazon's KDP Print Platform, and it's basically for everything related to KDP Print. So if you'd like to join, please feel free to enter that into your search bar in Facebook, or you can use the link at the bottom, which is a redirect that goes directly to the group. All right, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to pop them below, and I will get back to you and answer them. Thanks.